Welcome to the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving working moms come to learn how to stop over drinking, reduce overwhelm and anxiety, and show up like the players they were meant to be. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik, and let's dig in. Welcome to episode 60, Fear. Hello. How are you? My gosh, I am so excited to record this podcast. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a long time, even though that's not the case. We have a weekly podcast, right? But I feel like it's been a little bit of a time warp here. Things are amazing. It's February. The things are starting to bloom here in North Carolina. The weather is starting to be more consistent. It's awesome. And I just ended this 5-day reset, how to stop over drinking and start living program that I ran for people that are on my email list. And we had a little private Facebook group, and every day in the 5-day reset, I went on and taught them something on a live call, and I coached people, and I just loved it. And the people that showed up to got coached are so brave and willing to change. So if you were one of those people, you need to pat yourself on the back. Thank you. So I've gotten so many questions and so many thoughts within that 5-day reset. But one of the biggest themes that I saw from the people in that reset were that they were scared. Okay. And so I thought that I would create a podcast around fear. And they shared all sorts of their fears with me in this 5-day reset. And I'm so thankful for that. And I think that having a full dedicated podcast on fear is going to be super helpful for a lot of people, okay? So they had thoughts like, what if I can't stop over drinking? And what if I do this work and it doesn't help? And they felt scared. They also shared that they were scared of what people would say if they said that they were going to take a break from alcohol or work on this issue. They were scared they would be boring. They were scared their life wouldn't be the same. They were scared that they would lose friendships. They were scared that they wouldn't do the work inside the program that I offered them at the end, right? So you know that I coach people to stop over drinking. A lot of them were scared that they actually wouldn't do the work. They were scared that they would overdrink on their vacations. Does any of this sound familiar to you? Listen, I hear you. Fear is a big, intolerable feeling for most of us. Fear will stop us dead in our tracks if we let it, okay? I want to take the time to remind you of what our negative emotions, such as fear, are trying to do for us. First of all, we have the Motivational Triad that is always running. Understanding the Motivational Triad is critical when you want to overcome over-drinking or overeating. Okay, so our brain was designed when we were created as humans to avoid pain, seek pleasure, and expend the least amount of effort possible. Okay, so if you have a scary thought, your brain develops the emotion of fear, and your primitive brain doesn't realize that you aren't in imminent death situation, okay? Because we've evolved past that, right? Your brain can't tell the difference between an emotional pain or a physical pain. It just knows that you're in pain, okay? Your body feels that fear, and your brain thinks that you're in pain. So cue this motivational triad: avoiding pain at all costs, seek pleasure, and save energy as fast as possible, right? So the feeling of fear stops you in your tracks from taking action. Not only does it stop you, it starts to seek comfort to avoid the pain, okay? So guess what you've trained your brain to do to seek pleasure? Drink or eat or scroll on Facebook or binge watch Netflix or go shopping, right? And if you are typically at the effect of your emotions, this is exactly what you will do when you are feeling scared or fear. You will continue to overdrink, and you're going to try to escape that negative feeling. And when you do this, it just reinforces this very ingrained neural loop that you have created. So when you are at the crux of doing something scary, again, you won't do it. Instead, you will drink or you will avoid, okay? The good news here is that you don't have to let fear drive your actions or prevent you from taking the action that you know will help you stop over drinking, right? Now, I don't want you beating yourself up about this. If you can recognize this behavior within yourself, it means you are normal. Your brain is actually functioning properly, okay? Your brain is trying to protect you from death. We just need to train it to not seek alcohol or food for pleasure and comfort every time we have a negative feeling. What we want to do instead is notice the feeling, let it move through our bodies, breathe, allow it some space, and pause. And tell ourselves we don't need to do anything but feel. Okay? Fear is a vibration that we experience in our body. That's it, right? It's crazy when you think about it that way. So the more you are willing to feel fear and be with it, the bigger risks you're going to take in life. Because the absolute worst thing that could happen is another emotion. That's it. If you can feel fear and not let it derail you, you can feel anything. So getting back to going all in on solving your problem to stop over drinking and actually applying the work that I'm sharing here every week, or if you're in my coaching programs, we need to understand our own fears about doing that work. And that means uncovering what you are thinking about stopping over drinking. If you're thinking, I'm scared, or I don't know if it'll work, or I don't know if I can do it, and you feel fear when you think that, well, it's time to change those thoughts, okay? Because if you keep thinking them, you will keep feeling scared. And while I teach you that our emotions aren't problems, right? If you're willing to pause and feel them, the truth is we can't always be 100% aware of all of our emotions and all of our thoughts at every single second of the day. Everything that we do, our actions that we take in our everyday lives are either towards something or actions that keep us safe. Okay, so we're either growing or we're staying the same. If you want to ensure that the decisions you make in regards to your overdrinking are helping you, you're going to want to change your thoughts. If you have these thoughts like I'm scared, I'm worried, all of that kind of thinking that I mentioned earlier. Because if you make a decision from fear, it will certainly not be a decision that helps you do something that you wouldn't normally do, right? And if you want to stop over drinking, you have to be willing to do things you wouldn't normally do. Let's think about this for a second. It's normal for you to overdrink. It's normal for you to try to escape negative emotions with alcohol or food, right? It's normal for you to drink after work, on the weekends, at social functions, at work functions, all the times you normally do. It would not be normal for you to join a program to stop over drinking and learn about your brain and your feelings and understand your own unique behavior. It would not be normal of you to write out your thoughts every day. It would not be normal for you to get coaching on your thoughts. It would not be normal for you to spend money on a coaching program. It would not be normal for you to not drink in a social situation or on a Friday or even on a Tuesday, right? So when you want to do something that you currently aren't doing, your brain is like, wait, what? What are you doing? You're going into unknown territory here. You could die. And cue the fear, cue the saying no, cue all the excuses that you can think of. So instead of allowing your brain to say, I'm scared life wouldn't be the same, or I'm scared I would lose friendships, or I'm scared I won't do the work inside the program, or I'm scared I'll drink when I go back to work on Tuesday, or I'm scared I would overdrink on my vacation, notice those thoughts and then change them. You could try, I'm excited to change. I'm open to learning something new. I'm open to having better relationships. I'm going to do this work inside the program. I'm not going to overdrink on vacation. I might be scared, but I'm not letting that stop me. Those types of thoughts generally don't create fear. They create confidence, commitment, and excitement. Listen, you still might notice that you feel scared, and that's totally okay as well. And that is also normal. You might change your thoughts, okay, and do the work to change your thoughts so that you don't have to feel fear all the time. And I highly recommend that you do that, okay? But you might change how you're thinking, and then right before you go and do that thing that might be scary, you might feel fear. And in this case, you just want to pause and breathe and process and do what you plan to do anyway. Say to yourself, I'm feeling scared, but it's okay. And then you got to go do that thing anyway. You take a deep breath and you go. You challenge yourself. You go to that social function and not drink. You go and have that difficult conversation with your partner. You go and you sign up for my coaching program. You go and do the not the normal thing. Okay? Because when you notice your fear and you don't let it drive your actions, but you consciously choose to do something in spite of fear, is when your whole life changes. Then you do bigger, bolder things more often. You go on longer breaks without alcohol. You challenge yourself more. You take bigger risks. You are willing to do that because you aren't letting fear drive your actions. And you know that it's nothing more than a vibration in your body. And if you want my help in overcoming your fears and taking massive actions towards your goals to stop over drinking, I would love to help you. I was featured at the Life Coach School's podcast this last week for achieving a level of success in my business, and I am so proud of that. But do you know how I did that? The number one thing, and I talked about this on that podcast, was I learned how to be with fear and not let it stop me. The first fear I had to overcome was the fear that investing in a life coaching program wouldn't work. I decided to get over my fear of giving up alcohol until I reached my goal weight was the second. And once I did that, I knew I could do anything. What if learning how to be with your fear and redirect yourself and do things in spite of fear was the ticket to your freedom from over drinking? But you're never going to know unless you try, right? If I were you, I'd try. I would do whatever it took, okay, to get on the other side of the over drinking issue. I know what the other side of fear looks like. Learning how to feel fear and take action anyway will lead you to happiness and love and freedom and excitement and amazement and abundance and so much more. All right, my friends, get over your fear. If you want to take this work to the next level, request a free 20-minute phone call with me to see if life coaching and joining my Stop Over Drinking and Start Living program makes sense for you. The link to do that is in the show notes, and I'll see you on the inside. Talk to you next week. Bye for now.